بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم ما بعد رسوله الكريم ما بعد سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي إن الله وملائكته عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما بسيد درود شريف everyone اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم صدق الله مولانا العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. All praises are due to Allah Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal, through whose guidance, through whose mercy, through whose affection, through whose love, through whose kindness we are believers in Him and followers of our beloved Master Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Peace and salutations be upon our Master Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, for being that exemplary mankind who we aspire to follow. Although we fail regularly in following him, we still pluck up that energy, and for the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam we get up and we try again to remain steadfast upon the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon the teachings of the noble Quran and the teachings of our Master Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. 2 weeks ago I spoke with regards to Christmas, its origin, how there are some comparatives, some similarities between our faith and that of Christianity, and even some other faiths we looked into very briefly. We today look at Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, and you'll find that many masajid throughout the world, actually not just in the UK but throughout the world, are discussing about Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. Some people say, why do you only discuss it in December? Is it because of Christmas? Say, yes, we do, because that is the focus. I can almost certainly say that if you open up any TV channel, they're showing Christmas movies, yes? So yeah, I can see everyone that checks the TV. Wasim? It's that time of year, isn't it? At this time of year, you go into a clothing store, you won't find clothing which is suitable for summer. Why? Because it's winter time. It's cold. So similarly, this is the time of year where we speak about this. You say, but every year you speak about the same thing. But every year we forget the same thing. How much of the story of Sayyidina Maryam alayhi salatu wassalam, imagine, the only woman, there were 124 odd thousand Anbiya alayhi salatu wassalam that were sent to earth. Yeah, but a woman, a chaste woman, a special woman that Allah Ta'ala had chosen. Yeah, there's a chapter named after her. If you look in the Noble Quran, there's mention about different women. And there also you will find that Sayyidina Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam has been mentioned the most amount of times. What kind of person was she? Where has she, what was her origins? Her father, anyone knows her father's name? But we know what Messi's golden boot looked like. Huh? We know how many scores and how many tries and how much possession and all of that details. The same love that we have for football, those of us that have that love, imagine we turned it into love for Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, for all the Anbiya alayhi wa sallam, for all the Sahaba. Now you look at some film and it shows you Robin Hood shooting, and he can shoot one arrow and another one goes in between it. But if you look into history and you look at many warriors, for example, not to learn to become a warrior, but to learn to understand what kind of people were these Sahaba. They were regular everyday people like us, but they were given a special privilege of being in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why we weren't chosen for that, Allah knows best. You find sometimes people complain, oh, Moulana, this masjid is so cold, oh, it looks so old, there's no fancy chandelier hanging here. If we had a fancy chandelier hanging here, Then when the youth club play football and all the different games here, that chandelier would be destroyed. You'll say, Moulana, you wasted money on buying a chandelier. But in the masjid of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, there weren't solid walls. As a matter of fact, today is raining. The mercy of Allah Ta'ala is coming down. And we know from the hadith of Laylatul Qadr that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam made sajda at Fajr time, and when he lifted his head, there was mud on his forehead. Where did that mud come from? It wasn't a face mask. Some guys spend more time putting face masks than the woman do. You know what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam's masjid was simple. The important thing is you and me, who we are as human beings, who we are as Muslimin. So Sayyidina Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam's father, I've given you enough time to think. What was his name? Sayyidina Imran alayhi salatu. Now Imran, he passed away while his wife, whose name was Hannah, I'll just help you out there a little bit. We forget these things, but if we read over and over, and inshallah we'll build up a picture of history in our minds, inshallah. So Hannah and Imran had desired to have a child for a very, very long time. They were getting into old age. And there's a lesson in this for us. Sometimes you find someone is married for so many years, they don't have children. And now after 15, 20 years of trying, 25 years of trying, Allah blesses them with a child. Then the child is born, but the child has some sort of disabilities or inabilities, or part of the body is not formed correctly, or they have some other challenges, or the child passes away in infancy. These are all tests from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you believe in Allah, then Allah will give you a child when it is best for you. Because there are some people who don't have children, they're begging Allah for children. There are some people that have children, and we hear of these stories, where the parents are saying, Ya Allah, I wish I never had children, because of the actions of those children. Because of the actions of those children. May Allah Ta'ala protect us. Ameen. Say Ameen. Yeah, even if you're not married yet, even if you're not thinking of getting married, Usman, even if you're not thinking of getting married, one day inshallah you will, because this is a sunnah of our Master Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So now Allah Ta'ala decided, I'm going to bless them with a child. So when Hannah finds out that I'm going to have a child, she makes this intention that this child I'm going to devote to the worship of Allah. I'm not going to get them educated in the worldly trades, but they will be at the masjid and they will serve the people that come to the masjid, so on and so forth. But she didn't realize that the person that was going to be born was... Who's going to be born? You're not with me, guys. Hannah and Imran was going to have a child. I've just mentioned who the child was when I said who's the father of this person. Maryam alayha salatu wasalam. She didn't realize she's going to have a girl. She thought, I'm going to have a boy, he'll be in the masjid, he will live there, and his time will be devoted there. And this was one type of worship at that time. Now when the girl was born, she still fulfilled that vow that she had made. She made a promise that I will give her for the service of the house of Allah, Baytul Maqdis, the third haram. Those that like to go to different places for holiday, make sure you go to Palestine. Go and see the brothers and sisters there. Go and see the third holiest site. Go and see the site, the only site in the entire world where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam led all the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam in Salah. The only site. Only site where all the Anbiya were together at one place at one time. Many Anbiya are buried there. So khair. Now when she was put into the masjid, who's going to look after her? There would be different people that wanted to take that responsibility. And it turned out that her uncle Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam used to be the one whose responsibility was to look after her, to take care of her needs. Anything she needed, they would bring it there to the masjid for her and take care of her. Then a time came, and you've heard of Bethlehem. The Arabic word for that is Bayt al-Laham. Allah Ta'ala instructed Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam to go there, to lie under a date tree. Allah Ta'ala made a stream flow underneath her while she was about to have a baby, the only woman without a husband to have a child. This was a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you will find that many Christians believe that this is the case. That this is what happened. So the similarities between Christianity and Islam in a lot of things, and certain things we disagree upon. And Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wasalam was born. And what was his purpose? Was to invite to the oneness of Allah Ta'ala. What specialities did he have? Miracles, anyone? Cure the blind. Someone had leprosy, he could cure them. He could make a bird out of clay and blow into it and it would get life. He could bring the dead back to life, all with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Each prophet had their own miracles. Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, وَانْشَقَّ الْقَبْرُ بِإِشَارَتِهِ. He simply pointed his Mubarak blessed finger at the moon and the moon split. The Quran is a miracle. How can it not be a miracle that today, over 1400 years later, the Quran remains exactly as it was revealed by Allah Ta'ala? Not a single letter has been changed. And you find that so many millions around the world have memorized the noble Quran. So we find that Nabi Isa alayhi salatu wasalam was given some speciality, some special privileges. And one of these things was that Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam was supposed to be a woman of good character because she was serving the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when she had the baby, now people, and this is something we need to think about. Sometimes you watch a small clip, a video clip, audio clip, you hear about someone saying something, but you didn't hear the whole picture or see the whole picture. And you make your own deductions from there. People said, oh, you're supposed to be a person that lives in the house of Allah, and you went and committed zina because you don't have a husband. How did you have a child? And Allah Ta'ala had instructed her that you, if anyone asks you, somehow you let the people know that you are not going to be talking. You can't talk. You have taken a vow of silence. But what you are going to do is, you are going to point to the cradle where Isa alayhi salam is. وَيُكَلِّمُ النَّاسَ فِي الْمَهْدِ. And then what do we find? Is that Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam was one of, how many babies spoke in their cradle? Anyone? How many babies spoke in their cradle while they were babies? I'm not talking about your baby sister or brother that says goo goo gaga. There were 4 children. This holiday, we have a lot of time, isn't it? If you got time to keep on doing that on your phone, you've got a lot of time. You're a free person. Find out who those 4 people were. I'll give you number 1 is Isa alayhi salam. And when they asked, how can we ask this child? Are you crazy, Maryam? You're asking us to speak to a child? And then when they turned their attention, you know what he said? Inni abdullah. Indeed, I am the servant of Allah. I am the servant of Allah. This was Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, who we hold in utmost respect and honor because he was one of the Anbiya alayhi salam. He is one of those that is mentioned in the noble Quran so many times. The story of him is in so much of detail. Sayyidina Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, we believe that he received the Injil. He received the Injil, which is known as the Bible, mashallah. But now you say, but Moulana, you pick up the Bible today, there's so many different variations. Remember I mentioned the Quran is a miracle, it's not changed. The Injil has been changed. The original, there are stories that say in the Vatican the original is laying there, but you can't go and see it. In the original, there are certain things that are forbidden that are not found in newer testaments today. About forbiddance of having alcohol, pork, how to dress, how to cover yourself. So many similarities to the noble Quran and the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have some similarities. One is the location of birth. We believe he was born in Baytul Laham, Bethlehem. There's nothing wrong with that. There's actually, if you go there to Bethlehem, there's a place called Church of the Nativity. Yeah? And it is said that this was the place that Isa alayhi salam was born. Whether it is or it isn't, it doesn't matter, but you know it was in Baytul Laham. At that time there was no church there, it was just a date palm, which Allah Ta'ala commanded Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam, you shake it. And a date palm is not something you can just shake. But Allah Ta'ala had given her that special blessing. She shook it and dates would fall and she would eat from it. The second thing, in Islam there's no mention about Joseph. In the Bible it is mentioned with regards to Joseph being the husband of Mary, Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam. In Islam there's no man in her picture. Only man there was her son, Isa alayhi salam. Number 3, we have similarities, the miraculous birth. Yeah, it was indeed miraculous because he was born without a father. Adam alayhi salam was born without any parents. Christians believe that he is the son of God. We don't believe. Yeah, Qul huwallahu ahad, the surah we love to read. Why? Because it's short and sweet, isn't it? Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Allah Ta'ala does not give birth, and neither was he given birth to. Actual place of birth, the Christian version says that Isa alayhi salam was born in a manger or in a place where animals are kept. So if any of you, especially our young children here, have seen nativity plays in school, you'll see there'll be some hay there, you'll see some animals there. Yeah? That is where they have that version from. But we believe as Muslimin that he was born there. 3 wise men and the gifts, again something you may see in this nativity plays. Yeah? That 3 wise men came and they brought a whole lot of gifts of gold and other things. But there's no mention of this anywhere in the history in Islam. So to summarize, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, he holds a very high status. And for us as Muslimin, yeah, just like how you know, yeah, that Mbappe was born here, is that how you pronounce his name? Maybe I got the tajweed wrong. Maybe it's Bap. I don't know. Right? Well, where he was born, what's the origins, and we know what the Moroccan guy's mother looks like, and how they were honored and revered. Subhanallah. We need to understand and know our seerah, our history, not for entertainment purposes. This is not the Messiah from Netflix. You know what I'm talking about. Don't feel shy. Sometimes these things are there to put us off track. But if your knowledge is strong, that is why it's so important to gain knowledge and the correct knowledge so that you cannot be misguided. When you have your Christian friends, yeah, or invite you at work for a Christmas party, and you say, yeah, don't worry, I'll be coming, I'll bring the fat halal turkey. We've seen over the years how Muslims feel that, you know what, I've got to fit in now, you know. We live in Britain, Moulana. What is wrong with you? You're still living in the dark ages. We've got to have a Christmas tree. We've got to have the fat turkey, and we've got to have the hats, and we've got to have, you know, the Christmas dinner. Am I lying? Muslims do this. Why? Because we want to fit in. You can sell your soul, you will never fit in. I guarantee you. I guarantee you will never fit in. And that also shows another person that you are trying to impress. That, you know what, this person is not really convinced of their religion, Islam. That is why now they've got to take part in Christmas. They've got to take part in Diwali, and they've got to take part in every other religion's festivities. But how many people that do not follow Islam have you seen celebrating Eid al-Adha with you? And saying, right, mashallah, bring the zabah, right, let's make the zabah of the animal. Huh? You'll have people coming there fighting with you, animal rights activists. You can't eat that. You say, I have to eat it, by. You people are eating up all the animals' food, so what's he going to eat? We have to eat the animal. Okay, only a few people will be there. Khair, my brothers, all I'm saying is don't follow other religions. Be firm in your religion. Because you know, Al-Yawma Akmaltu Lakum Deenakum. Open up the 5th juz. Where Allah Ta'ala says to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, today I have perfected for you your religion. Your religion is perfect now. You don't have to add on this, that and the other. You don't have to celebrate Christmas just to show you are fitting in. That's not fitting in. That's compromising on your Islam, your Iman, on your values, on your ideals. May Allah Ta'ala protect us. May Allah Ta'ala make us strong in our knowledge of our deen. And may Allah Ta'ala make us all flag bearers of Islam. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana. And alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa ma alayna illa al-balagul mubin. Brothers, if I can ask you all to please stand up. Inshallah, fill up these 2 rooms on either side. And fill up all the subs, please. Brothers that are at the back, please move forward. Jazakumullahu khair. Adhan, please.